it really held on to its original history. What it's made of is still intact in Jupiter, and so we can study it to learn about the solar system's history. When we're trying to learn about how Jupiter formed, it relates to the original formation of the solar system. So when we go to study Jupiter and try to learn how did it get those elements, we're sort of getting the first hint as to how all the planets got enriched in these rocky, heavy elements, and maybe where life itself came from. So on July 4th, 2016, Juno arrives at Jupiter. The time we reach Jupiter will be the fastest moving human-made object in history. We'll be traveling at over 250,000 kilometers an hour. In order to get into orbit, we've got to slow down. If we don't fire our rocket, almost like reverse thrust of a jet engine, if we don't fire that rocket just right, we fly right past Jupiter. We will do an orbit insertion maneuver. We basically have to face our rocket forward and fire it for almost 40 minutes in order to slow down so that we make a transition from being in orbit around the Sun to being in orbit around Jupiter. But we have to do that in the most harsh environment that NASA has ever visited. The strongest magnetic field, the worst radiation, surrounded by rocks and debris. There's a lot of risk associated with Jupiter orbit insertion. But we don't really know how the spacecraft's going to react to that environment. We're an armored tank, but we're like a flywheel going into a motor, the strongest motor in the entire solar system. Once we get into orbit, the fun begins. We're in orbit, the science is on, we start looking with all of our eyes and ears.